Hi, I'm Jason, and as you just saw, I just got evicted from the Big Brother house, so I'm not here on some too very good of circumstances, but I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. How are you feeling at this moment? I'm feeling like I just took a sword to the back, to be honest with you. I had an alliance with two other teammates, Alex and Paul, that just swore up and down that all three of us were going to make it right to the final four, on to the final three, and then we were just going to battle it out to see who made the top two. So I'm super shocked that I was here, because there should have been absolutely no way under any circumstances that with those two and Josh, it should have just been a clean sweep. But you know, I'm obviously here now, and I'm super shocked. Tell us what happened. Why do you think you are here right now? Honestly, I'm not exactly sure, because it was there's two bigger threats in the house apparently, and one of them was on the block next to me, Alex. I mean, Alex and Paul are huge competitors, and they're super savvy at the game. So there's nothing that goes on inside that house that those two don't know about. And they were in my posse, so they were my pals, and I guess I was taking it for granted a little bit. I should have realized I was sleeping in the wolf's den. So, but I feel like if the others would have at least came to me as well. I mean, we all kind of were in the dungeon in the beginning, and rose kind of to power on a slow, hard pull, and I'm just absolutely shocked. I'm just absolutely shocked that I am here right now explaining why I'm here, because I honestly don't know. I was 100% shocked by the way the votes went tonight, because I honestly thought, and everybody assured me, that it was going to be a clean sweep. So when it was 2-2, I was pretty sure the girl that was riding my back when I broke her foot and hobbled her for like 8 weeks was probably not going to keep me. But at the same time, I was kind of on the edge of my seat wondering what was about to happen. And I thought it was probably just a ploy for good TV, you know, it'd be really exciting. But when she picked Kevin, I knew right then that it was no ploy. It wasn't on a haha funny. It was a plan that had been executed for 3 weeks. And it just makes me wonder if Kevin was actually telling the truth, or if Paul and Alex had been trying to convince me that Kevin was a complete pathological liar for the last 3 weeks, or if he really is. I still have no idea which one's true, but I know one thing. Paul and Alex definitely had a hand in what happened tonight, and they've known about it for quite some time. So they can both, never mind. Looking back, was I worried when Christmas won HOH? If I'm telling the truth now, I would honestly say I couldn't understand what the big deal about throwing it was, but the way Paul and Alex spun it to me was, we want to throw the HOH competition because we don't want any more blood on our hands. But really what they meant was, I basically sent everybody to jury, or put everybody on the block that was in jury, and they didn't want to have to do that because they were apparently obviously having a final two with each other, and so they just wanted to skate right in. So they were telling me I was outgoing HOH, so I didn't compete, and so they're like, well, you know, we'll just throw it to Christmas or Josh because they will execute our plan. I believe that. Shame on me. How did you feel when Christmas put you up? I damn near fell out of my chair. No, wait, I did fall out of my chair because it shocked me that much. I really at that point knew I was in trouble, if my gut's telling the truth, because I was like, there's absolutely no reason under the sun that Alex and I should both be on the block. But if my brain serves me correctly, Alex actually volunteered to go up as a pawn. So after I was on the block as well, I instantly started thinking that I am the target, because I said in very plain English about an hour before that I did not feel comfortable going on the block. I did not want to go on the block. And I thought it would be crazy to go on the block as a pawn at this point. I'm like, why wouldn't you put Raven up? Raven's the target, and she's not going to win the veto. So why don't you put Alex and Raven up? Then one of us will win the veto and keep the nominations the same, or, you know, pull her off and do something else. Put Kevin up there because he was the next target. So when all of that started going the opposite way, I just kept my Midwest smile and thought, yeah, they got my back. It's nothing to worry about. So I'll sit on the block, win the veto. And if I would have won the veto, I probably would have pulled Alex off anyway. So I'm a tool. Do you feel like you're the target or just a pawn? No, I absolutely felt like I was the target after I got put on the block next to Alex. Then they all reassured me that I wasn't the target. So I felt a little better. Didn't really campaign very hard to keep myself because I didn't want to make Kevin feel bad. I'm over letting people not feel bad or feel bad. I probably should have had a little more aggression towards gameplay instead of trusting my team so much. But in the real world, you kind of got to trust your team or it really goes the other way. What did you think after Paul won the veto? I was super pissed at myself because I allowed something foolish to cloud my thinking and not pay attention. So I got off to the first 2 rounds were terrible. And that unfortunately cost me the win. But I didn't really feel that out of line when Paul won because he's on my team. So it was almost a plan that either me, him, or Alex win. I just wanted to win because of the things that were attached to the veto that would have been super awesome to be involved in. So I was actually still feeling pretty safe. As safe as you can feel when you're on the block because it's Big Brother and you kind of always have that in the back of your head like something could go wrong because I'm in the spot where things can go wrong if you're on the block. But I actually wasn't that surprised and that shocked and upset that Paul had the veto. Was I surprised when Paul used the veto on Alex? No, because at this point I'd had a conversation with them and I was feeling super safe. And had I won the veto, I would have used it on Alex as well because it's just kind of the man card thing to do. I mean, and everybody was getting a lot of flack and guff for dipping on their girls when they were on the block. And so, I mean, it was just, I would have done it anyway. So I would have looked like a super tool had I won the veto, used it on Alex, and then sent myself home, essentially. So I wasn't that shocked when he used it on Alex either. You and Kevin have been close from the beginning of the game. Talk about being on the block with him. You know, the funny thing is, Kevin has had a little pattern the whole time of kind of telling you what he's thinking, kind of subtly. And he kept subtly telling me, since the nominations were changed and he went up, that he thought I was going to go home. And I kind of thought it was funny. And I just didn't really, you know, I just said, yeah, I just kind of agreed with him because I didn't want to make him feel bad. So, I mean, I packed all my stuff, my cups, I packed everything. So just to keep that, so he wouldn't feel bad. So he would actually think that I didn't really know if I was going home or not. Turns out I'm really glad I packed all my stuff because I went home and he didn't. But being on the block with him, I guess I felt pretty good because everybody said he was a target. Everybody had been treating him like ass, baiting him into arguments. And the funny thing is, I always said, man, I hope I'm never the one that is the target for all of the yelling matches because that would not be a comfortable place to be. Turns out it worked out for Kevin. You made some good relationships in the house. Who will you keep in contact with after this season ends? Well, that's a good one. Because